Before there were walls, before there were kings, history began beside the water. By the Nile, the Tigris, and the Euphrates, the rhythm of life was the river's breath. Here, scattered camps grew into the world's first cities, built from mud, barley, and the first scratchings of written words on clay tablets. This new way of living rippled outward, along the Indus and the Yellow River, where brick streets met granaries and new rules were forged for crowds no longer bound by kin. Empires rose on the promise of surplus and safety, then cracked and returned in new shapes. What began as footpaths hardened into arteries of power. The Silk Road stitched continents together, carrying not just spices, but trust, ideas, and disease. Monsoon winds filled the sails of Indian Ocean traders. Trans-Saharan caravans beat a path across the dunes. Then, from the steppe, a new speed. The Mongol moment created a vast network of relay roads, spreading paper money, gunpowder, and the compass across the known world. In this accelerated age, power tilted to those who mastered speed and distance. Then a new ocean was crossed. The Atlantic, once a barrier, became a bridge in a great Columbian exchange of crops, cultures, and cataclysmic shocks. Old and new worlds were bound together in a shared, often brutal destiny. The silver and sugar flowing east, the people and plagues moving west, all created a new global economy. Our modern supply chains, our complex societies, are an echo of these first world-altering connections. Just as the world was being mapped, the human mind was being remade. In the late 18th century, a new energy was harnessed. In a soot-stained mill town, pistons thumped with the power of steam. And in a candlelit cafe across the water, pamphlets rustled with the power of new ideas. The Enlightenment challenged crowns and dogma, and in 1776 and 1789, revolution rewrote the script. On a sugar island, the enslaved rose up, proving that the language of liberty belongs to everyone. Coal, steam, and oil drove iron rails across continents, setting new schedules for life itself. Factories drew people from the countryside, and sprawling cities rose toward the smokestacks. New classes argued over wages and dignity, while new nations drew lines on maps, claiming land, resources, and people. These engines of industry stitched markets and rivalries together so tightly that a local spark could ignite a global fire. The 20th century arrived in the trenches of the First World War, shattering illusions of endless progress. The second brought fire from the sky, the horror of genocide, and a new alignment of global power. Empires crumbled as colonies demanded their freedom. A long Cold War divided the world, a standoff of suspicion linked by undersea cables and the threat of annihilation. Now, globalization and the digital revolution rewire our lives moment by moment. Pandemics reveal our shared vulnerability, and a changing climate shows us the bill for our history of extraction. This is the story we inherit, a story of connection and conflict, of ingenuity and consequence. And just beyond this screen, the next chapter is already being written.